Hello and welcome back to Forge of Champions. My name is Jake Ibrahim Matthews and joining me here on the castle desk is Ty Celtic Tiger Brennan and Dan Orcs Harrison. Gentlemen, we are one apiece in this best of three and the winner of this game will progress through into the semi-finals. MnM definitely looked to have their head screwed on in that last game.
I think a big thing was the draft. I really wasn't happy with the way they drafted in game one. I think it was much better in game two, and we saw from game one they tried to do the best with what they had, it just didn't work. In game two, they were much more on form. Their team fighting was honestly stellar. I think if they get a composition in game three that lends them having a good bot lane once again, and where they can win out the team fights as they've shown they're capable of doing, definitely favored to finish this series out strong. Well,
I'm eager to get into picks and bans as soon as possible so we can really look at what's going down, because I think the drafts, like you said, have just been so crucial for both of these teams. And are we expecting to see any changes? I want to see Aaron back on that Yasuo. He had a lot of hope on it, but
yeah,
it
would be nice to finish it out. I think now that they're back on blue side, I think ENCLAVE have the stronger pick. They're not going to give away things like the Zoe. They don't have to ban away things that they don't necessarily want to. Yeah. I think they could also pick themselves up the Rakan and see if they can get the Rakan themselves, especially considering they've been consistently banning Morgana, which is one of the common counters to that lane.
Yeah.
It is weird they haven't looked at the Rakan at all for themselves, so we'll see if they go for that now.
I think as well, definitely just, I mean, I guess I understood the reason they went for that Vlad, because they didn't want to shoehorn themselves into going an AP top laner.
Yeah.
But I think in this situation, definitely put Bendy on a marksman, because didn't seem too comfortable on that Vladimir.
Well, Aatrox and Nidalee have been taken off the board, followed up by Morgana from ENCLAVE once again, so we won't be seeing the Morgana, come through. Because,
yeah, I mean, they've been banning it every game. That's why I think they should be looking at the Rakan themselves, potentially.
Going to ban out the Zoe as their last ban, so if they want to get that, they should at least try to pick the Rakan first pick now.
Yeah.
Because MnM will quite happily take that. After the game they just had with the Rakan, they're going to want to get that again. Lucian's been taken away. Kalia's also been taken away. Talia is
open. Have decided they want. That is strange.
That is bold.
That is, yeah, that's ballsy, dude. Like, get straight into that. So this has got to be the Rakan, right?
Almost certainly.
I mean, yeah, because the CC is so effective against Yasuo. We saw how good the Xayah was escaping it. I mean, you don't have to pick them both here, but again, I feel like it shoehorns you into not being able to have any flexibility with your third pick. I would just go for it here.
Yeah.
By the fact, the fact they're going there, Xayah here does suggest they're just going to pick it up now. I think that's the best option.
You can't not pick the Rakan here.
And then it now puts it in ENCLAVE's hands. I guess they pick a jungler here. That means
Talia's still open.
Talia's still available.
It's not Monk's style.
Yeah, I don't think it's Monk's style. Unless
I think MnM called them on that as well. Yeah, they could have taken it themselves, but they decided, you know, Monk's wants to play these tanks. Could pull that Gragas out again. Just played it in game one, played very well on it.
Yasuo, you know, Aaron probably won't go to Talia either. Yeah. So it is. I still not 100% with this Yasuo first lock, but could still work out for them if they're not punished for it.
I feel like, I mean, the Alistar works with the Yasuo, but I feel like the Brawl might have been the pick to go well with the Varus in terms of protection. It does provide a lot of utility for the Yasuo. And Varus, well, Bendy back on a marksman, and he has played this Varus before, so I'm pretty happy with that. But we do see the Poppy come out for MnM, and again, this is the strategy they used in game one. They pick a strong top laner, and they ban away champions that Rift would like to play into it. First being the Darius.
Yeah, and I prefer this order as well. What I do like as well is that they pick Poppy knowing that Alistar's been locked in and Yasuo.
Yeah, and
you saw that every time they want to try and engage, it made it so much more difficult.
I mean, just so far, those 3 picks, it's so hard to punish the Xayah. And you already have a composition from ENCLAVE who prides himself on having a lot of engage. You have the Alistar, you have the Varus, you have the Yasuo. You want to engage, get in that backline. MnM already are giving them a lot of difficulty.
It's just pretty much textbook from MnM, really. The same build, the same team comp they went for last game. Darius, Kindred taken off the board. Talias remains unchosen for either side, as we are going to see that Gnar ban out by the MnM squad. So pretty much what we expected.
I think Hades could go for Talia here, and they'd gain a really strong comp for it.
I think as well the Unraveled Earth does stop a lot of engagement. You take a lot of damage going over it. Kindred ban makes a lot of sense for similar reasons. Provides the peel for the backline. With such a large defense on the backline, I think adding the Talia to that would be a bit too strong. But decide not to ban it, which it's really weird to me. I feel like the dive aspect of the Nocturne you know, you look at the composition on MnM, and to me, it's a kite back, let them try and engage, and just put a lot of firepower into them. The Talia seems perfect for that. The Nocturne just seems counterintuitive.
And also, every time you engage with Zyra Khan, Talia's so good at following it up without ever risking herself.
Yeah, and they pick it in. And the great thing about it here as well is because MnM haven't taken their mid laner, this can be a flex. I think it'd be better in the jungle, in my opinion, because it gives you mid-pantry, but you're not locked into that.
This is actually amazing how MnM have been gifted so many powerful picks by ENCLAVE, who, I mean, yes, Erin's Yasuo was very good. Yes, we think of Alistar when we think of Hado, but like, we've just given comfort over to ENCLAVE, where MnM are playing into their team's strengths. They're playing into a good draft here. Gonna see that Sejuani once again from Monkeys, and looking for their last pick, which will be Rift's top laner. Who is he gonna play into that Poppy?
Yeah, I mean, there's not many things left up that you'd want to counter it with. Aatrox, Darius, and Narband. At that point, I guess Mundo is the next pick you go for. It's gonna be a relatively, you know, slow game top lane, and that's exactly what MnM want.
Yeah, and I think the question is, what do you want to play into that Yasuo? There's now the opportunity for Reroute to pick out a pick he is confident in. You know, we talked about the mid lane count pick, but we kind of knew the Yasuo was going there anyway, so it was a bit of an
we get the monkey! V-Route's going to play the Yasuo, sorry, the Wukong into the Yasuo.
Yeah, it is
That's
a counter
very strong.
matchup. Again, it makes it so difficult for the Yasuo to play around that. And the thing is, they have the AP from Talia, so why not?
Even ignoring that, their team fight is ridiculous. You
Yeah,
throw
absolutely.
Zyra Khan in, you then jump in, have Wukong twisted top of them, they don't land alive.
I mean, that's the thing, is that there's certain abilities that are hard to land in a vacuum. Things like, you know, the Talia seismic shove can be difficult to land, but Zyra Khan makes it so easy to get the follow-up. You land a Zyra Rakan combo, you can then easily follow up with the seismic shove and then potentially the Wukong on top. If you land it on, I mean, the key thing is that Yasuo and Varus, because once they go down, ENCLAVE just falls apart.
I'm looking at this as just a massive wombo from MnM,
This is
on top
disgusting.
of playing into exactly what they did last game, which won them the game in 24 minutes. I don't see...
They are en route to do the same thing.
Yeah,
Again,
it's
they've
basically
got
this
a massive mid-game power spike team who won a team fight at that mid-game. Yes, ENCLAVE do have the Yasuo and lots of ways to engage him in, but they just peel back on. I mean, you can't take your eyes off Shogun and Igloo. Igloo denied so many big engages for the Yasuo, and then Shogun was just on fire. 3 games in a row. He's played this 3 games in a row. 2 of those games so far, he has charmed, quickness, knocked up at least 3 or 4 members.
I think the big thing for me is that they basically got the same comp, except they weren't counterpicked top or mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
they got the counter pick mid. Again, Mundo is favoring that
Pentagram.
matchup, but not massively, and it takes a while for him to get alive. And yeah, I think you're right. And also, you have the higher early pressure jungle in this Talia.
Yeah, literally the only thing that MnM lost was the ability to take out the front line slightly easier, but what they gained was huge.
Yeah. I mean, credit to the whoever's drafting for MnM, because game 1, I felt they dropped the ball, but game 2 was better, and game 3, this might be the best one yet. They've put themselves in a good position.
You see, I feel like we've gone so heavily into how good their draft is. I really hope they don't mess it up.
I mean, if they do, then
It's so good,
if
though.
they mess it up,
Away
they do
from
something really bad.
Yeah.
I think one aspect to say is that there is a lot of late game potential on ENCLAVE. Yasuo and Varus pump out a ton of damage there, and then Mundo, Sejuani, if they do manage to stall the game out to those late stages, will be hard to cut through them. Zion, not the same carry she was in previous iterations.
What I do want to say is both of these teams have a wombo combo, and the thing about wombo combos is if you do fall behind, you've still got that. You've always got the threat of the wombo combo. Unless you're like 10,000 gold down, then the wombo's not quite as impactful. But like, you just send Rakan in with the quickness followed up by a monkey, you're going to put a lot of damage down onto ENCLAVE, even if you're kind of down 5,000 gold at this point. Like, Eren is still going to be subject to CC burst. This time he's running the exhaust as well, so he's not even running the cleanse. So he's going to have to build that QSS, which will slow down his item build.
I'm not even sure he wants to build QSS. It's all knockups. You can't do much about it.
Yeah,
No, you're
I think just we saw him go the Phantom Dancer into the GA last game.
Yeah.
That might realistically have to be what he does here as well.
You need the armor because Wukong will just destroys you. That's why he has to go exhaust anyway.
In fact, I would actually argue it might be worth starting cloth armor and then several pots in this matchup, because it's not going to be
Get
a
those
fun
ninja
one.
tabby early on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well-
The only problem is, I mean, you can use the armor late in other builds. The only problem is with the ninja tabby, is that recently Yasuo's have always rushed Berserker Greaves because Zeal hasn't been as efficient. And the thing is, because of the build, as you know, the Berserker Greaves, the Phantom Dancer, then other items, usually Infinity Edge, you don't hit that Q cap for such a long time if you go Ninja Tabby. However, there is another build where you go Ninja Tabby double Zeal item, which means you hit the attack speed cap, but, you know, that's a fringe sort of build.
You guys at home are going to have to let us know, because we can't make sense of this. Let us know on the Twitter, sorry, using the hashtag Forge of Champions free, and let us know who you are supporting. Is it going to be the monkey in the mid lane, or the champion that normally feeds in your solo queue games?
Yeah.
So the monkey in the mid lane.
Yeah. That was good. I like
can't tell which is which, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just worried for the draft coming out from Enclave. I'm not sure if they can execute on it. I mean, executing on it is pretty much just trying to stall it out. Last time we saw that their effective way of doing that was trying to set a 4-man roam bot. I think all MnM have to do is ward.
Yeah.
If you maintain vision of your bot river, there's very little Enclave can do to stop the exact same thing as Game 2 happening.
And the thing I'd argue is you saw how much the Yasuo and Vlad got punished in that last game. Yasuo now doesn't have Cleanse. Vlad is now a Varus who's a lot easier to pin down, and you have a Wukong instead of a Zoe. There's so much threat onto those two squishy carries. It just seems like it's going to be so difficult to defend them. And when we've talked about how Enclave, their real chance to shine is in the late game, I don't know if they're going to be able to get there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll be loading through into the game nice and quick, and we can actually see what's going to go down, because I can't make sense of this. I can't make sense of any of the champions picked.
Wukong's great.
I know, Wukong is great.
All of MnM's champions are amazing.
Can you ever?
Kind of what?
Oh. Can you ever make sense of things?
I can make sense of you being mean right now.
Wow.
I can make sense of that being on.
He's pointing at the picture of an owl he drew.
He had a horn.
For the...
yeah, if anyone didn't join in earlier, have a little look on the...
I thought it was Princess Leia in Minecraft.
Yeah,
Princess Leia didn't have a
Princess
hammer.
Leia. Well, I mean, it's Minecraft. You have to have a hammer.
You can use your fists.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird. You know, just all these superheroes walking around just punching trees down.
I've never punched a tree down in my life.
Yeah.
Really? I thought that was a regular thing.
Man, that's because you're from the north. So
yeah,
you guys
true.
are...
That's fair. We're hard.
Yeah, I wasn't going to go for hard, but...
I mean,
Southern softies.
punchy?
Punchy, yeah, that's it.
Punchy.
I think that's, yeah, I think you can use that term.
Punchy.
I mean, you're from Ireland, so...
Yeah.
Drinky?
Wow. That's rude.
I mean...
Not necessarily inaccurate, but rude.
I think we're going to have a punchy here in a minute.
Yeah.
Let us know Twitch chat you think's going to win. Will it be Orcs or Celtic Tiger when they have a fist fight?
That's actually a fair question. I don't know. I tend not to bet in myself in fist fights. I feel like I'm terrible at them.
I guess we're into game.
We'll find out after the game in the parking lot.
Yeah. Actually, is there a car
There
park
isn't
here?
a parking lot.
We'll find one.
Yeah.
Look at that one. They zoomed in and came out. That was great.
That was a nice camera angle.
And
there's someone actually joined them in the
Wait,
mid lane.
he has
I love
base
that.
skin Wukong. That's just disappointing.
What skin do you use?
I think the Infernal one's pretty cool.
What about the God one?
The God one's pretty cool as well.
Lunar
The
God,
ghostly
yeah.
one as well. Spooky, spooky.
Yeah, he's got some pretty good skins. I can't actually think of any other Wukong skins.
There's like the general one and the Jade Wukong, or what's...
Oh, Jade Wukong is actually quite nice.
The splash is lovely anyway.
Yeah.
I don't play Wukong. I actually played him like once or twice.
I played him a little bit recently because he's crazy good with his early damage.
Yeah.
So
And that's the thing
hopefully
as
we
well.
see that this time.
If you look at, like, I mean, it's the obvious choice in terms of runes, but you have the Electrocute from the Wukong compared to the Conquer of the Yasuo. So much instant burst. You can then pop your decoy, back out away before the Yasuo can really do anything, and that's just a strength of this matchup.
And you see Monk is now moving away from the free footwork, moving towards the Aftershock. I wonder if part of that was because of the hilarious interaction. When you subjugate the Aftershock Sejuani and she has her passive up, you take so much armor and MR from her. As soon as they fade off, you actually go down to negative armor MR.
Wow, yeah. Wow.
So,
bit of a blower.
Yeah, I think part of that is now you just want to be as tanky as possible, because this is a relatively squishy team coming out from MnM.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get the damage on the right targets, other than the Poppy, you're going to be able to pump through them pretty quickly. You have pseudo-tankiness in the forms of the Wukong and the Xayah having ways of being sneaky. You have the ultimate from the Xayah and the decoy from the Wukong. But again, if you can lock them down with some of that CC, Chains of Corruption, or the Alistair combo, or even that Glacial Prison, then definitely vulnerable.
Yep.
Well, We're seeing actually Viral actually take a little bit of poke early. Obviously, level 1 on Yasuo versus the Monkey. Pretty good, but Viral just turns it around, has that corrupting potion on, and knock up is there. Gonna go a little bit wide this time.
And you see, just hitting the level 2 first mattered so much there for Aaron. He was able to basically start that trade before Viral was able to get in the quick EQ. So huge amount of damage came down pretty quickly from them. And speaking of level 2 rushes, it is ENCLAVE as well in the bot lane. That's one of the big things that they did change in their bot lane. Moving away from Vlad means you don't get constantly push in. Will at least delay that first tower push that MnM had so easily in the last game.
And I mean, he's up in CS as well, so he's actually got himself... It's only a marginal lead for the moment, but this is when it gets hard for Aaron. Now for that level 3 has hit for Rao, he's able to just hop in with the E, get himself a Q down, and then he can decoy out if it gets too hairy.
So annoying. I mean, the wave's going to shove into him, and you can actually see Monk is heading over, so they might try and punish this Wukong.
It is pretty low, Aaron. Standing about, has not got his pot, but it looks like Rao actually going to throw down the Ignite, and he gets first blood, 1v2. Girls get locked down, and Monkey's answers back.
I'd take it.
Yeah, I'd definitely take it. The 1v2 first blood, absolutely.
Outplayed.
We see Aaron actually, he's going to pick himself up a double Doran sword to start, as it's a long sword for Rao, and the boots.
Yeah, the boots are helpful as well. It means you don't have to engage with your E. You can just try walk up, get quick Q trades down. And that's exactly how you want to be starting off a matchup like this.
It's absolutely perfect from Shogun. Stepping forward, Hallow gets locked down. It looks like Jokerism flashes down the Ignite on, and Jokerism is able to pick the kill up, but Bendy able to get himself one in return with the E. Now, actually, Shogun taking a few auto attacks too many. It looks like he's going to be able to walk out, although...
Okay,
no, replay.
Okay, let's look at this. And the exhaust comes down immediately, so what he does is he just decoys and allows it to wear off somewhat, and then just immediately turns around and takes out the auto. Allows the Ignite to tick a little bit before revealing himself.
Yeah, that was pretty solid play there coming through from Rao, able to secure himself first blood. Needs to continue that as he has the help of Hades. Looking for the seismic shove. Is going to go a little bit wide, but Aaron taking auto attack after auto attack.
The work ground is just not really in the favor of Hades there. Couldn't quite get around the wind wall either, so well played by Aaron to survive that. But so much pressure coming down in this mid lane.
He's probably going to look for another play in a second. Electrocute should be up fairly soon for him.
And you see actually Alistair and Sejuani now in the mid lane, expecting exactly as you are the engage shortly.
Well, looks like they're looking for the knockup. It will land by Aaron. Does call out where the Monkey is. Looking for the 8 escape. Seismic shoves down. Windwall's there. And Monk is able to get himself a kill, but there's a teleport not being completed.
And that is no ape escape today. He managed to get himself killed there. I think it was a good roam up there from ENCLAVE. I like that they're kind of moving around these roams. Previously it was like, okay, 4-man bot. Now that they're not being pressured as hard, they decide, okay, we can try respond to this mid lane, who's where we're being pressured. ENCLAVE are doing exactly what they need to when someone's being countered this hard in lane.
Igloo has got a shove, is equal in CS to his counterpart. 5 minutes on the clock. Gold relatively close, just marginally in favor of ENCLAVE for the moment.
See now, I think it's a relatively even game. Like MnM, you had that hard counter in the mid lane. It has been countered itself by having a lot of people sent to respond to it. But the issue is everything Wukong builds spikes much, much sooner than everything Yasuo wants to do. So it's all about whether Aaron's comfort on the champion will allow him the time to scale up. See now, I think once that serrated Dirk comes out, I think that's when you'll start to see Yasuo really struggle against him.
Yeah, considering he's also sitting on just 2 daggers and level 6 has literally just been hit by Brow.
The level 6 damage from the Cyclone isn't huge. It's actually level 11 where it gets a massive buff in terms of damage. It's more just the knock-up where it really becomes useful in case you end up grouping up or going for a pick on your with your bot lane, where it becomes really useful pre-level 11.
Jokerism sitting on 2 daggers into Bendy, who just has himself that Vampiric Scepter. So looking like we actually might have the Blade the Ruin King Varus. And Orcs is celebrating on the other side of the map.
Other side of the map, yeah.
Mate, I'm in tired mode.
I mean, I thought you were gonna say league mode. You know, you're casting. That's a better excuse than no. I'm tired.
I'm sleepy. Monk is just clearing out a couple of wards here and there. trying to get some vision control for Enclave, and 7 minutes on the clock this game. Well, the last game, by now there's been a lot more action, but we are still 5 kills in.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of things going down. It's just slowed down recently. I think we had a very aggressive mid lane, and Vrau's kind of tempered that slightly, but speaking of aggression,
Hades actually is getting picked up. Monkus does have ultimate, remember. Not going to commit for the kill. Vrau was roaming up as well.
And this is why we talked what we talked about last draft. When Sejuani was locked in, we were expecting the Trundle into it because it's such a good matchup. Now that the Talia was effectively forced onto MnM because it was such a great pick left open, the Sejuani is something that's quite commonly picked into it just because it has no pressure on it early.
Oh, Shogun gets pulled by the Chains of Corruption. Headbutt there, pulverizes him back, and gonna be a kill gifted over to Bendy.
And that was just not respecting the fact that they disappeared out that side. Level 6 had been hit by Varus, and nice quick pickup for them.
Now Rift. I don't know why I keep talking about top lane. It's gonna be the wet noodle fight. There's not too much kill pressure.
They're slapping each other about.
It's not even really slapping, it's more just kind of poking each other, saying, hey, get out of my lane.
I feel like the sound the cleaver makes is kind of a slap.
We'll hear the next one.
Ah,
that's on a minion. Doesn't count.
Okay, we'll see.
Mundo has so many satisfying skins. Like, the one where he throws the trophy. The funk in the back of the head. I love it.
It's pretty good. I don't know. Mundo's
TPA
a champion that isn't particularly satisfying in general, in my opinion.
No, the only thing that is satisfying is the cleaver sound.
Yeah.
Like,
which is sad because, you know, a lot of people max E now. You can still max cleaver in certain
that
matchups.
was kind of a slapping sound. It was more kind of a meaty sound. I guess it is a cleaver.
But like, meat slap. I think meat slaps. I would say meat slaps as verb. You know.
But does metallic objects hitting meat slap, or does it like thud?
Yeah, that's more of a thunk. But that's, you see, it's not really the sound of it hitting the meat. It's more the sound of it hitting the chopping board that's the thud. I think it slaps the meat. I would venture as to say it slaps the meat. Regardless, let's move forward here and see. Again, this counter in the mid lane has really slowed down. Still hasn't managed to pick up his serrated Dirk, I guess. And now he actually jumped on.
Last available. Monkus is here, throws down the ultimate, and Aaron able to pick himself up that kill. Yasuo 1-1 on the board as Rift does get popped back. That's going to be the knock-up. Seismic Shove being held. Flashes out, and they are unraveling the earth beneath him. Seismic Shove gets channeled, and Hades able to get himself a kill. And Shogun, he just pieces out. He's a slippery ferret.
And Hades actually had a really nice prediction there with the threaded volley. Started throwing it to where he knew the flash was going to go. Igloo flashed into it, and then, or not Igloo, sorry, Rift flashed into it, and gave them a nice pickup there. Still, MnM are being pressured in a lot of cases. It's a 2k gold lead right now for Enclave.
It's not the start you expected out of the Monkey Man. 1 and 3.
That's a big buy for him, though. He picked himself up the Tiamat and the Dirk. The damage coming down will be really quick now.
Yasuo has also picked up a Zeal, so needs that Phantom Dancer before he really starts to come alive.
But it is the Berserker Greaves Zeal, as Ox was talking about in the desk. What this does mean, though, is you are extremely squishy into the Wukong, who's just picked up nice bit of lethality, nice little bit of wave clear and damage in that Tiamat. We should see the trades go his way, but we've been saying that before. See how it actually plays out.
Oh, looks like actually a bit of a rotation's coming through. Vrau does obviously have that decoy. Hopping out, looking to try and make his escape. Monkey's on the run, throws down the Cyclone, is going to have that Blast Cone if he needs to get out. As Igloo in the top side, taking the trade versus Rift. Actually starting to run low. Mundo goes where Mundo pleases. Not going to actually change out on the kill yet, as Igloo was able to get himself a shield, and the Monkey gets the great escape.
Yep, but he will go up his tower in response, most likely it is. I think that's really all Enclave wanted. Anything extra is just going to be handy.
Yeah, I don't know why we were focusing so much on the top side there while there was a siege happening, but...
You know what? We knew that tower was going to go down, whereas we don't know who will slightly outtrade the other top laner in these situations, and maybe actually a pick coming in.
Seismic Shove does pop the sadism. Rift on the run does have a Blast Cone, so it looks like he's going to be okay, but the Weaver's Wall is there! Into the wall! What a stun!
That was nice looking. In the end, it is just one kill, though. They can't really respond objectives-wise. But it's still, MnM showing they can still pick things up, still find things. It's all about whether that really means anything when Enclave have found exactly what they want. They've gotten ahead Varus now.
That Talia skin is insane, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
so
the
good.
abilities look so good. I think I've said that so many times today with different skins, but like the actual effects on the abilities look really, really good.
Okay, let's have a look at the replay here. You can see the flash forward is nice, and the threaded volley starts doing a lot of damage. But look at this. Flashes forward, E's forward, W with the denial of the blast cone, and pretty much anything else at that point.
It wasn't
Down
even
goes
into the
Rift.
Weaver's wall as well, which he got him stunned on. He got him stunned on the corner of that jungle wall. Got him mid-blast plant. That's so unlucky for Rift. Now Monk is looking to try and invade in. Shogun coming through to try and deny, but Aaron is there with him. Blast cone's been popped. There's 4 members hanging around, and Hado...
Actually, this is a fight they want. They're actually going to try 5v4 this, but this could just be...
Oh, Shogun goes in with the quickness, lands on the 4 members, but instantly the ult is connected onto Jokerism. The Feather Storm comes out, the Blade Cooler roots Aaron in place, but Vrao is here with the Cyclone available. It's just come up, flash forward, the Cyclone misses! Will knock up Aaron on the tail end!
So forced from MnM there. I'm not sure I like that play, because the way they TP'd in, it was always going to leave Enclave an avenue out towards bot lane. They had no way to respond to that. What they decide to do is, okay, Shogun, try keep them here. Instead, it almost gets Shogun and Jokerism killed. Does give them some pressure now, though. They can keep fighting.
Wall bang in, that's going to be everything thrown down. Vrao gets himself one. Aaron's running low, but we are going to see Hades going golden as MnM starting to move lose members left, right, and center. 1 for 1. Bendy peeling back. Vrao goes in, gets himself a second kill. Now more for Enclave could be on the cards, but MnM very, very low. Going to be another wall bang into the knockup. Hado goes golden. Trying to stay alive as Vrao gets popped up. He's still alive, he's pinned in place. The shutdown by Monkeys. And Shogun has no mana to get out. Hammer Shock's there, they're chasing on. Going to be a bit of a pop, but the Winter's wrap into the double kill. Monkeys 5-0-2 on Sejuani.
That was awful. What were MnM thinking? That was so forced. They continue to follow it up. They started fine. They go under the tower. They get the kills they can get. It ends up going 2 for 2. Look, not great. They're tanky members. Sometimes that happens. They then stick around, try to fight. Hado and Monkeys get outplayed by the double tanks. That's unfortunate.
That was yeah, let's just see that again. You know what?
Yeah.
I don't even want to make my opinion on it. Let's just see it.
This is actually a great fight for MnM.
Oh.
They force the fight. They get Aaron now. What they should be doing is try to back off now. They got the pick they can get, but instead they try to force forward onto Bendy, ignoring the front line. And that ends up destroying way more members than they expected.
They could have just backed off now, though.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They still had the option to back off after the 2v2.
I'm in a bit of a turret trade, Enclave. Looking to get them their 3rd turret, while MnM answering out in the top side with their 1st turret. Jokerism and Hades there. Actually looks like... Nope, not going to give the gold over to Jokerism.
No, it's actually still going to be a 3.5k gold lead either way, though. Still Enclave in the driver's seat. Still Enclave looking stronger. Rift Herald will help. It means they can at least try start matching towers a bit more. Would have been nice for Enclave to pick up, maybe even over the mountain direct, but... means Enclave can continue to scale forward here, which is exactly what they wanted to do last game. Looks like they're going to be given that chance this time, as the Yasuo and Varus are doing quite well for themselves.
Rift Herald gets picked up. Infernal and Mountain Drake, though, is on Enclave. Let's see what this... Rift Herald will actually get used. Again, it's one of those ones you expect to see in mid, but it's hard to push mid with your mid lane out, and Bendy sieging away with that Blade of the Ruin King. Got quite a lot of auto attacks available to him.
I think this is the point of the game where we can successfully say that the Wukong has somewhat failed, because Enclave shut it down early, and it's now can't really find openings, because while it was being shut down, Xayah Rakan were being pushed in by Varus.
I do want to add, though, that the Yasuo is not particularly popping off either.
Yes.
It's Monkeys. He's actually sitting on all of the gold for Enclave. He has 5 of the kills. There are 2 at least onto Bendy, so that's going to be one of the larger things for them. At least one of the carries has some income on him. So we are seeing a potential play. Rift is going to be popped up. Seismic Shock goes a little bit wide, throwing out the threaded volley, but with the sadism on.
They don't have a Morello's yet on Hades, so that fight's always going to be difficult unless you land everything at once. They miss the seismic shove, they just have to leave.
He's full health again, so he's completely content. We are seeing Vrao in the top side, looking to catch himself a wave, but does need to be careful, because...
the Duskblade's available, but I don't think that works on all 4 members here. Have to be careful of Enclave. we're now going to decide to match the Rift Herald push by taking an inner tower of their own.
Yeah, going for that inner tower. Just going to be Vrao looking to defend. I don't know whether or not ENCLAVE MnM want to stick around and continue to push in the mid. Looks like they're continuing to go. Vrao has to do something to buy time. There are only 2 minions. They got that second charge. Actually, this could be good for MnM. They might be able to get an inhibitor turret if they hang around. Headbutt pulverizes to the last breath into the knockup. It looks like that's going to be one. Picked up onto the monkey. Aaron's putting the damage out. He's found himself a double onto monkeys. This is one fed Sejuani. Meanwhile, the mid lane inhibitor turret is being sieged.
Gonna be
and
in
the
it
top
for
side
him.
inhibitor is being sieged. This push is going crazy.
They're just going to continue with the Herald here. Are they going to base race this? This
actually...
early 17 minutes in?
Are we having
this actually what's happening?
What is going on? They're
No, they're backing up.
No. What's going on? All right. Jokerism spacing off. They are actually going to get the last charge out of the Rift Herald at least.
Yeah, inhib for inhib with a charge
yeah.
onto the Nexus towers. MnM with the slightly better trade there. Yes, some kills went over, but objective-wise, they're happy enough.
See how much damage that did, actually. I'm not entirely sure.
It's decent.
Oh, wow,
yeah, they almost took
that
it.
actually went real low.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty then.
Wow.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
bit of a fiesta.
You have very fed Sejuani, who's honestly probably the last member of this team you want to be fed. You really want to get the Yasuo or the Varus going forward, because that's when ENCLAVE can continue to push their advantage. You just need a giant meat shield in Sejuani, and yes, this makes her more of that, but realistically, no one on the side of MnM was going to be able to chunk through that regardless of how fed it got.
We are seeing the buildings of that Morellonomicon on Hades, so they finally, when they look to make a play onto Rift, they should have a way to deal with it soon enough. Baron and Nash are spawning in 1 minute and 10 seconds. I think both of these teams are definitely going to want to be contesting that.
It is ENCLAVE still with a massive, massive teamfight advantage though. So as soon as they group up, it should really be ENCLAVE who win out. Even though we talked about the massive wombo from MnM, that's still an option, but I'm just not sure the damage is there to follow it up, especially when Monkeys is that tanky, and you can just get the Alistar damage reduction coming through.
Well, Vrao has actually been able to hit that level 11 mark, so he has got that second point in the ultimate, so a little bit extra damage. As you said, the level 6 isn't actually that impactful, it's just about the knockup.
Yeah, the bigger issue though is that he's building fully to take out the backline, and I'm not even sure he's seen that in any of these fights. He's just been destroyed by everyone CCing him constantly. Maybe if MnM can find a fight where he's not done that though, okay.
Great Feather Storm into the Blade Cooler, does root Monkeys up, but he is just a monster. He's so tanky.
That was the Chain of Corruptions as well used. Those are 2 key ultimates they need to continue a siege.
Obviously, Jokerism now doesn't have that Feather Storm available to him, so he's a little bit tankier. Baron Nashor is now spawning up and taking to the Rift. Morellonomicon has now been finished up on Hades as he's been on wave clear duty in the top side. Can always join the fight with his ultimate if it is needed. And the super minions and the inhibitor falling in the mid lane hasn't really been too much of a problem because ENCLAVE are just sieging mid.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it relatively easy that both of the inhibs taken are near enough to Baron that you're not completely forced away from it. It means that they can both still continue to pressure, still try to gather some vision here as well. And now it's actually MnM who established vision are now resetting. You'll then see ENCLAVE likely respond by walking forward and establishing their own vision now. If they don't, it's actually going to be a decent trade for MnM and a good reset for them.
This is such a better build on the Varus. He's now got that Hurricane. Probably going to get that Infinity Edge third. Hits that 60% critical strike chance.
You can even go the double Zeal item.
You can
want to early.
An option.
Just go full attack speed early and then follow it up with the Infinity Edge, because Infinity Edge, not quite the spike it used to be.
I mean, as a third item, it's a massive spike. When you've already got 1 crit item, doubling that up to 60%, then obviously giving you 15% of that on true damage as well. There isn't an inherently massively tanky person yet, so it's not going to be.
You have to remember it was
impactful.
just nerfed though. So
it was.
Is
you're
slightly
right.
pulled back. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Either way, he should be spiking fine. Big thing I'm looking at though is you have a GA on the Yasuo. It's now even harder for you to turn around and bully people out of these fights as the Wukong, because he can just come back and you're probably dead by then.
Well, looks like the engage is happening. Val gets caught out. Headbutt pulverizes there. Shogun goes in on a knock-up. Instantly deletes out one. They're going for the next one now as Eren trying to get into the fight, but he gets knocked up, bumped around, and MnM, a two-man last breath, forces Jokerism so low. It's another double kill onto Monkeys. ENCLAVE are losing absolutely nothing, and they are taking down a triple kill for Monkeys. 10-0 on the Sejuani.
That could be game. They have the inhib down. They're going for it. They're going to see if they can take Nexus right here. 22 minutes in.
This is so quick. Eren even flashes over the wall. Super minions are there. Rift, he just goes where Mundo pleases. And they are looking to take this. Remember, they do have that Infernal Drake and that Mountain Drake. Towers are melting up plenty, but it looks like Vrao needs to make a miracle play. He's gone golden with the the decoy, but the turret's going to go down. Looking to knock him up, looking to put that damage down. Hado does fall. Jokerism puts the damage down, but in comes Eren. The Feather Storm's out. The Blade Call is there. Eren's still alive. The Nexus is being focused out by Rift. Mundo is ending the game. Eren has put the damage down. He's going to go down. He's finally out as Jokerism put the damage down. The Nexus.
They inhib respawns.
What?
And it's just failed there, and now you're going to see they're just able to turn onto Baron. This will be MnM trying to swing it back as quickly as possible if they can.
Oh my god, what is going on?
Oh my word. That was so close to the end of the game. Instead, they get their inhib back. They keep their Nexus alive. ENCLAVE now have to keep MnM off of Baron, because that's exactly where MnM want to focus right now.
Let's just see this again.
Okay, you could see now. They managed to make a really nice pick because the Weaver's Wall forces them in here. And now it's Vrao who almost gets burst out, but instead managed to get around the back of the fight. Does a huge amount of damage to Bendy, which starts off the fight decently for him, but Eren responds, and now it's the fight over Baron.
Already, Baron's running very low. Rift is coming in. MnM
this
needs
is
to keep
it.
us alive. Bendy's putting the damage out. Ultimate by Poppy. Is this going to be the steal? MnM secure him, and Hado finds himself an opening. Val falls down, and they're still chasing for more.
This could still be getting
down. Shogun. They've got two down.
He gets
Mondo gets it, but it's going to get turned around, and Bendy falls down. Only one remains for MnM.
It's 1v4, but you have the Baron minions. Is that enough to hold? You're about to find out.
Let's see what's going to go down. Looks like Mondo's going topside. The rest of the ENCLAVE hanging around this mid lane. This game is what I wanted.
Okay, you now have Shogun alive. He's going to get it.
Into the knockup. Oh, no. Trying to put that wind wall out just to keep himself up for the moment. Does have that knockup charged up. Going to go wide, and Shogun.
2v4. They still managed to hold it. I love it. And now it's MnM with a way back in from their Nexus going to about a quarter health. They are not done.
Let's just see the replay of the fight. This is actually them trying to take down the base as the inhibitor respawns. This is so unlucky.
So you'll watch this here. You see they can refocus. They actually just decide, okay, we have to get rid of Vrao to start. And they try to turn on him. Good two-man knockup, but again, no ultimate available on Eren just yet. Means that he's tanking up all of their carries' damage right now. And while they do get some kills in response, it still means that he hasn't been autoing the Nexus. It's only Rift that has been doing so. And in comes Igloo flashing forward, saving the game, and then the real savior, that inhib respawning.
That was actually game. That was just straight game, and it just fell apart for them. 22 minutes in, we're not even close to an Elder Drake being a threat as Monkeys does get caught by the seismic shove. He's very tanky though. He's 11-1.
Yes.
I didn't see who killed him actually. But
yeah,
he must have got a lot of gold.
You have to also see now Hades with a Void Staff finish is actually going to start doing damage to some of these tankier members, which is pretty much necessary if MnM are going to try to do anything this game. And look how quickly it's turning their head. Now they're the ones looking for the siege. They're playing forward.
Down, remember?
Yeah.
Have MnM actually are going to be able to siege. Remember how low that Nexus turret went because it got that charge from the Rift Herald as well. So that's another factor that MnM have to play around with as well.
Yeah, should now have regened up to that 1/3 mark. Still easy enough to take out at that point. And we're seeing here, ENCLAVE forced back. MnM this far behind because they have the Baron. It might be enough if they get a pick, though.
Oh, death push.
There it is!
Be the engage. Shogun with the quickness of the one. Into the wall back. Into the damage.
They can't kill him!
He goes in. Vrao's managed to fall down, and Monkeys gets his next kill. Rifty goes where Rifty pleases. He's healing up, but the Nomicon will slow that down. MnM tried the play and paid the price.
They decided Vrao was going to go in and go onto the backline while they kicked off the Mundo, but they didn't pick off the Mundo. They didn't have the damage to kill him without Vrao helping them out, and he managed to survive. They end up just throwing a member in, losing him, and that's their Baron push pretty much done.
This is down to the wire now, this game.
And I mean, this is the series game as well. It is game 3. Either team goes through with this win.
It's getting harder for MnM now that there's 2 GAs up. Varus picked his GA up. Infinity Edge on the build path for Eren as well. He's got those double BF swords. So he is looking pretty scary. Xayah, not built in the same fashion, looking to build towards the Executioner's calling. They want to be able to cut through Rift as quick as possible.
Yeah, and actually do damage to some of these tanks as well, because that's where they've really been struggling. They need to be able to take out both Monkiz and Rift, even Hado. But right now, they've been trying picks and failing because they just can't get through some of these members. I'm waiting to see if they can now. Have they finally built enough armor pen to actually do something?
Cloud Drake gets picked up. That's the 3rd for Enclave. MnM looking for these death rushes, but not actually really making it happen. And it does feel like the game slowed down a little bit. Both of these teams a little bit hesitant to push up.
Well, you have to remember the next fight likely decides the game, because every fight so far has ended in nearly every member dying.
Seismic shove onto 2. Vrao is there. Hado loses
damage.
a lot of health.
Igloo.
In comes Shogun. He's popped himself the speed up. The wallbang's there from Igloo. Chains of Corruption go down. That will pick 1. Hades does not get caught by the Glacial Prism.
There's the big knockup
from Shogun is absolutely enormous. But Mundo is on the back of Vrao. It's going to fall down. The Featherstorm gets thrown out by Jokerism, but it's in the wrong direction. Trying to get himself a kill on the Hado. But Igloo, with a huge shield, is able to stay alive for a little bit longer.
Rift has been tearing them, though.
Away. Rift is so hard to deal with, and Enclave take the teamfight win.
It's actually only 1-for-1 for now. They could still maybe win this. They did get a GA off Eren as well, so MnM still with some tools to try fight this. This is the fight, though!
That's the knockup! Jokerism's on the run! He's alive for now, but he's down! It's a 1-for-1 trade as Vrao managed to find himself one, but in comes Hades, looking to throw out the threaded volley. Every stone goes a little bit wide, and Monkiz is a monster. He is so tanky along with Rift, and Shogun just can't find himself an opening. Inhibitor goes down, and then Nexus is bare.
Yeah, and they have to go deal with the super minions in their own base. But
MnM
now
are trying to stop this.
MnM who are trying to chase down Enclave. Bendy still has the GA available, and they make it over the wall. This, you would think, would be them done, but Teleport. It is not. There's the TP.
Rift actually is going to get knocked into the wall. No, goes a little bit wide. Hammer Shock's coming down as well. In comes Vrao. The ulti's there. The flash up. Shogun chasing. Can't quite connect with the ultimate. With the knockup, sorry. And Rift makes his way out. Baron Nash is up in 50 seconds. There's nothing for MnM to get.
What they did get with that was 1 Nexus tower. So that still did happen, but we have so tense right now. Let's have a quick replay of this fight. You can see Bendy is on the side of this fight, relatively untouched, just trying to pump out damage, but look over at Rift. That's what I was watching the whole time. He almost solos out Vrao, forces the flash and ult away while the rest of the fight was going on, and Rift then starts trying to tear through the rest of them. That's why Enclave were given so much damage.
Well, I need to get back into this game because this is so close to Baron spawning. They do get the inhibitor at the end. They don't quite find any more picks.
See now, once we hop back into game, how the Baron is doing. But you can see, it was a good response there. Quick damage.
That will be, obviously, I forgot they did get another pill, but Vrao was able to answer back. We are coming back into the game. Both of these teams didn't try for the Baron. Baron's going to be up in 4 seconds now.
It's MnM. We're still around it, though. Enclave trying to force from the mid lane here. They should be able to get this tower at the very least, but it is going to be another fight almost certainly extremely soon. Enclave playing up.
Slowing down a little bit. Baron Nash is up. Inhibitor in the mid lane for the side of Enclave has respawned, so that's given them a great advantage here.
Especially considering they just pushed up the wave. They have all the map control right now, and they're going to use that to start up the Baron. It is MnM who realize they are the ones who want to respond, though. Can they find anything?
Hado stepping forward, looking for that big engage. Same thing for Vrao here.
Super minions are on the edge of the base. They'll be entering
Enclave
relatively
is so
soon.
content here.
Someone has to go stop that from MnM, because that is an open nexus they are about to start hitting. It is Hades that they sent back.
They have to. He's the only person who can make it because he's got Weaver's Wall. Teleports down for Igloo.
But this is going to be the
Baron. Baron buff over to Enclave. 31 minutes on the clock, and with an open base and a Baron buff, it feels like Enclave should have just been able to win the game now.
You would think, but they have to back. They want to use as much of that gold as possible. These fights are so close for both teams, and this feels like a much longer game than 32 minutes, but they have really run it down to the wire. I want to see what happens now, and I love this. You see the Varus has the GA and goes, you know what? I can't survive enough with just that. Pick up a stopwatch too. The big thing this tells me, though, is this is our last fight. We need to win it.
We saw this earlier today when we had the double GA on 2 players. So there's 4 GAs between 2 guys.
I like it.
And looks like this is do or die. Seismic Shove is going to go wide. Siege is starting up in the mid lane. It feels like they could just walk in the supers into the Nexus, right?
Almost certainly. You're going to walk up. Well, you don't even really want to just walk up the supers because you're not 100% sure you win the fight at the moment. You want to just start taking out, build up bigger waves, and then use the Baron to help you win the fight for certain. And you can see that they're building up the wave in the bot side while trying to force the mid tower. Forcing
Someone
MnM
needs to go catch that.
somewhere.
It's going to be Rift to catch it and buff that wave up. So this is now another point of threat. Split on 3 fronts for the side of MnM, and they are in a scary position as Cannon is just free firing away on that turret. It should go down fairly quickly. Rift able to put a lot of damage on his turret.
MnM needs to engage soon, or they're just going to completely lose their base.
MnM have no turrets. They have an open Nexus. They need to fight. Shogun has his flash, has his ultimate.
They need to engage very soon, or if they lose the whole base and have to deal with the Baron minions as well, it doesn't matter if they win the fight. They still lose the game.
Igloo goes in. Wallbang isn't actually quite down. Shogun holds the fire. The Nexus, sorry, the inhibitor turret will go down. The next inhibitor is next to follow.
It's the fight now.
That's the engage. Shogun's pumping damage out. Bendy still alive with that GA for the moment, trying to pump some damage down onto Igloo. Will be able to get himself one as Aaron answers back to flash forward.
This is it. It's Enclave.
Everybody is falling down. Joker is a falls. It's the full ace and Enclave of 34 minutes with 30 kills. Crushed down MnM in a 2-1.
And an ace with no one going down from Enclave. You could see once they got that Baron, they play it slow, force MnM to engage on them, and still end the fight so convincingly.
What a close I mean, that game was only about 30 minutes. It felt like it was so much longer. It felt like they were taking so many Barons. What a slugfest from both these teams. Neither one are giving it up, but Enclave came out in the end. And as we said before, that Yasuo wasn't the problem, was much better there, but you know, credit to Monkeys. I think 11-0 at one point on this Sejuani. How does that even happen?
Yeah, so
kill stealing.
Ridiculous.
Imagine if that scoreline was on the Yasuo though. Like that game would have been over 10 minutes quicker.
That's what I was saying. It's like if you had one of your carries fed like that, Sejuani was already unkillable. They weren't killing any of the tanks with the way they were trying to fight. So
even if it wasn't the Sejuani, even if it wasn't the carries, imagine if the Mundo was 11-0.
Yeah.
Then that's game.
I mean, he was already killing all by himself.
I mean, that was a pretty disgusting game by Enclave. They completely clapped MnM. And with that, 2-1 in the series means Orcs, you get yourself 2 points. Sorry, Celtic.
It's okay.
That means I'm on 3 for the night. 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you on 3 out of 4?
Because that particular Hyperion would win.
Oh, you are.
I didn't get the score, so
3 out of 4 points. I got 1 out of 4.
Unlucky.
I'm okay with it.
That's
I'm okay.
Not particularly the best showing, unfortunately, for you, but great showing for Enclave, and they will be going through to the semi-finals. Hopefully we'll bring the bracket up so you can see exactly what is coming on next week in just a second.
That game's kind of taken us down a bit, because
I mean,
that was close for so long. Enclave finally managed to win, but certainly they'll be looking back at that as a thank God we did.
MVP for MnM has to be that inhibitor. What a player.
Yes.
I'm going to give it to Shogun. Let's just have a look at some of these fights. This is where they tried to end the game, but didn't. Because the inhibitor respawned.
This is where the big players, the inhibitor makes the play to save the day. But it's one of those situations that's so rough, because Eren, I feel like, makes the right decision. He understands they're overspawning, and he thinks, I have the most damage, I'm going to deal with them. If they focused the inhibitor, he would probably just get focused down himself. So he leaves the tanks just to try and deal with that. He is putting a lot of DPS down and survives for a long time. But it's tricky at this point when he gets this low. And the problem is a new wave of minions respawn. It blocks off the supers from hitting the Nexus. And then Igloo respawns, takes it out. And that is when the inhibitor spawns just a bit too soon.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it doesn't change the result of the game, but definitely added a significant amount of time on.
And also made it so much closer, because that's when MnM got the Baron. That's when it really felt like it was completely on a knife's edge for a very long time. Until, of course, ENCLAVE finally slow it down, get themselves the Baron, and get themselves the game.
I don't think it was a particularly clean game by either team here, though. I
No,
think the win
no
by
way.
MnM, but the win by MnM in game 2 was very clean. But I don't think ENCLAVE's wins in general were very clean at all today. So yes, they got the win. Yes, they're probably going to feel very good now. But I think looking towards next week and their game versus Hyperion, who looked insanely clean, this actually could be quite an exciting game next week.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. If you said to me before today, Hyperion against ENCLAVE, I'd be like, well, yeah, ENCLAVE are going to win it. But the Hyperion you played today against the ENCLAVE you played today, that's going to be a close series.
I mean, you have to remember, we would have said, okay, Diablos Hyperion, Diablos will probably just win it, and they'll go on to face ENCLAVE, where it will be a close series. And then it just wasn't the case.
Yeah.
I mean, Hyperion ends up looking really convincing against Diablos, and Diablos, who generally put up a fight against ENCLAVE, now suddenly it's Hyperion who destroyed them. We have to see now how that shapes up.
And it's a difficult situation because, you know, you go into it, you know so much about Diablos. They've played so far in previous tournaments. ENCLAVE, without a doubt, will have thought, you know, we make it through this, we then face Diablos.
Yeah.
They're not now. They're playing a team who are a bit harder to read, you know.
They have a week to prep.
They have a
They
week, yeah.
should be okay in that regard, but let's
have a
slow
little
it
look
down.
at the damage. Let's see what went down in that game. Talia popping out the most damage for the side of MnM. That was obviously Hades.
The big standout here that I want to point out right now is look how low Wukong's damage was.
Yeah.
He was shut down early by ENCLAVE.
Monday
Really
did
slowed down what
4,000
could have been
more
their
damage.
snowball. I mean, Sejuani did more damage.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Sejuani was like 14-1 at the end of that game.
Yeah.
Or something. I actually didn't see the score, but
I
it
mean,
was.
I think the thing for MnM is you took the matchup, which was a risky one. You wanted to outplay the Yasuo in what has been played as a counter matchup. But you know if you fall behind that Wukong, it's a bit useless. And you saw that in that game. I feel like maybe if you'd gone for a safer pick in the mid lane, that could have been a different game completely.
Like, even if you'd gone for something with a bit more tempered aggression, like the Ahri that he hovered.
Yeah, or something like, I guess, a Rise would do okay if you can kite away from the...
Yeah, I mean,
Yasuo.
again, looking away from the lane, there's a lot of things we could say was picked, but in fairness, he did put down a lot of pressure in the lane. It was just that ENCLAVE responded really well to it by constantly pincering him. And part of that comes down to the Varus pick in the bot lane, which we didn't immediately think was great. But what it did was it allowed them to push forward, allowed them to get the Alistar roaming up to the mid lane to shut down the counter matchup there.
Big question for me as a bot laner myself. I feel like Varus, Alistar level 1, you really shouldn't let them get a shove as Zyra Khan. I feel like the power Zyra Khan has a level, all you have to do is your W. Even if you miss the W, the feathers from both the members mean you just auto-attack them, you always win. Like, Alistar's so useless level 1, I think they gave up too much space, and that, a small thing like that might have been enough to give them the pressure in the bot lane, give them the pressure to roam and punish the Wukong.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's time we do have a little look at the bracket and the standings towards next week. XL will be taking on Wind and Rain, and Hyperion will be taking on ENCLAVE Gaming. We've spoken a little bit about ENCLAVE versus Hyperion. Give me a quick round out of who you think is going to take the game versus XL and
Wind and Rain.
Wind and Rain, thank you.
I think the favourites have to be XL based on the fact that they are first seeded so far. I mean, again, Braj were the weakest team in the round of 8, but they were very clean against them. And Wind and Rain, they struggled against Misfits. I don't think they'll have what they... if they play how they played against Misfits, I don't think they'll quite be good enough to defeat XL.
Yeah. I think that's fair, and I think the big thing for me about XL is we're talking about the cleanliness of the way they play. It's when we've seen games like this, even this 2-1 here, a lot of it's been about they've had win conditions, the games have stalled out unnecessarily while those win conditions were options, and then they've gone a bit longer, and then eventually they did win. I think that was the big weakness we saw in Wind and Rain as well, even more so than here.
Yeah.
I worry for them against XL, who are very quick to punish that kind of play.
Yeah, because the only decisive game in that Wind and Rain series was the one they lost.
Yeah, unfortunately. Right. Guys, make sure you do keep in touch with us over Twitter using the hashtag #ForgeChampions3. Also, follow the channel, which is at LVPUK. Keep up with all of the information and stuff that will be happening over the next few days. Obviously, we're going to be ending the broadcast fairly soon. If you want to see any of the plays from the weekend, any of the highlights, anything you missed, it's all going to be over on that YouTube channel, which is LVP Space UK. Not with the word space, just a little space between the LVP.
Oh, yeah.
Well, apparently it's LVP UK according to the thing, but...
Try them both, whichever works, go for it.
Yeah, yes. There we go. I think that's what you type in the search bar, but in the browser bar, you want to be LVP UK.
Let's not confuse it too much. You'll find it out. We trust you guys.
Yeah, well, we'll start next week at the same time, same place. Obviously, we will not be here. It'll be a different group of people, of course.
Yeah.
Sadly,
in the semi-finals.
Unlucky for you guys.
So you will be missing out on our lovely faces, but you will be joined by the people with good hands. That's the word I'm going to say. That wasn't actually
the
what
people with good hands is not the way I'd want to phrase it, but
no,
I would say very
confident
casters.
You're in good hands. Thank you very much for joining us here for the last 2 days. We'll be back next week. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.